Get ready to be moved to tears as I share the incredible story of a mother who went to unimaginable lengths to find her missing daughter after making a dreadful mistake. But my question is, did she really love her daughter? This happens a lot with teenage mothers, but can a mother truly love her child and give them out to someone they don't know? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe for more updates if you have not yet subscribed. You can also share your story through the email provided in the description. Here goes the story. I hope you will understand my need for anonymity. My story is one of regret and an unending search for redemption. My daughter, whom I named Nanaya, should be 8 years old now. It has been 7 long years since I last saw her. I gave her away in a desperate attempt to secure a better life for myself. Back then, I was struggling, living a life of abject poverty. Every day was a battle for survival, and the future seemed bleak. My life before meeting Thelma was a relentless cycle of hardship. I lived in a small, dilapidated apartment in one of Accra's poorer neighborhoods. The walls were peeling, the roof leaked when it rained, and the little furniture I had was second-hand and worn. Nanaya was my only source of joy amidst the struggle. Her laughter could momentarily make me forget our dire circumstances. But the reality of our situation was ever present, gnawing at my spirit. Every day was a challenge. I worked multiple menial jobs just to put food on the table. Cleaning houses, washing clothes, selling fruits at the market, anything that brought in a few cedis. But it was never enough. The bills kept piling up, and the debt collectors were relentless. I often went without meals so Nanaya could eat. Watching her sleep at night, I would silently promise her a better future, even though I had no idea how to make that happen. One sweltering afternoon, while I was heading to the market with Nanaya trailing behind me, fate intervened. A sleek black car pulled up beside us, and the driver, a well-dressed woman, lowered her window and smiled warmly. She complimented my daughter, calling her beautiful, and offered her a chocolate bar from the passenger seat. Her accent was a mix of local Ghanaian and something foreign, which made her seem sophisticated and trustworthy. "Is she your daughter?" she asked, her eyes filled with a strange intensity. "Yes, she is," I replied, feeling a twinge of pride mixed with a pang of guilt for the life I was barely able to provide for Nanaya. "Are you a single parent?" she inquired further. "Yes," I nodded, my voice barely above a whisper, ashamed of my situation. She sighed and began to talk about how children deserve the best in life, regardless of their parents' circumstances. Her words were like a balm to my weary soul. She spoke of opportunities abroad, of a life filled with promise and abundance. It was as if she had appeared from nowhere to offer a lifeline when I was drowning in despair. "My name is Thelma Ruth Opoku," she introduced herself, extending a perfectly manicured hand. "I live abroad, but I'm visiting Ghana for a short while. I believe your daughter deserves a better life, and I can offer her that. I can take her with me and provide for her." Her proposal was like a double-edged sword. On one side, there was the possibility of a better future for Nanaya, and on the other, There was the immediate relief of my financial struggles. Thelma saw my hesitation and quickly added, "I can also help you. Here's $15,000. It will help you get back on your feet, and once you're ready, you can join us abroad. I'll make sure of it." The amount was staggering. I had never seen so much money in my life. It was enough to change everything. With trembling hands, I took the money. Thelma handed me a piece of paper with her contact information, including a phone number and an address in Canada. "Call me whenever you're ready," she said, her smile reassuring. "You can come and be with her anytime. I promise." In my desperation and greed, I believed her. I watched as she gently led my daughter into her car. Nana Ya looked back at me with innocent eyes, unaware of the gravity of what was happening. I smiled at her, tears blurring my vision, and waved goodbye, convincing myself that I was doing the right thing. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. I tried calling the number Thelma had given me, but it never went through. It was always unreachable. Panic began to set in. I asked a friend who lived abroad to check the address in Canada. He sent me a video showing a bustling shopping center at the location. There was no trace of Thelma or my daughter. The first time I realized something was terribly wrong was when my calls to the number Thelma gave me went unanswered. At first, I thought it was a simple network issue, or that she had changed her number. But as days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, the gnawing anxiety in my chest grew unbearable. I would sit in my small apartment, the silence around me only broken by the ticking of the old wall clock, staring at the phone and willing it to ring. But it never did. Desperation set in, and I decided to send a friend, Quaim, who lived in Canada, to the address Thelma had given me. Quaim was a childhood friend who had moved to Canada years ago. We had kept in touch sporadically, and I hoped he could help me find my daughter. I remember the day Quaim called me, his voice laced with concern and confusion. "Ajoa, the address you gave me is a shopping center. There's no residential building here, just shops and cafes. Are you sure this is the correct address?" he asked. My heart sank. "Yes, that's the address she gave me." "Are you sure there's nothing else around?" "Maybe she lives nearby," I pleaded, clutching at straws. Quaim assured me he had thoroughly checked the area and even asked around, but no one knew of a Thelma Mineruth Opoku. The realization hit me like a tidal wave. I had been deceived. The money, the promises, the reassurances, it had all been a lie. Over the years, my nights became haunted by dreams of Nana Ya. In my dreams, she would cry out to me, asking for help, or sit silently, tears streaming down her face. Each dream was a dagger to my heart, a constant reminder of my terrible mistake. I would wake up drenched in sweat, my heart pounding, the echo of Nana Ya's cries ringing in my ears. I began to dread sleep, knowing that the nightmares awaited me. The guilt and regret gnawed at my soul, consuming my every waking moment. I had betrayed my daughter, and the weight of that betrayal was crushing. I have searched tirelessly for Thelma and my daughter. I even offered to repay the $15,000 or double, to anyone who could help me find them. But every lead turned into a dead end. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. I reached out to various organizations and agencies, both in Ghana and abroad, hoping someone could help me. I contacted the police, child welfare organizations, and even hired private investigators. But every effort ended in frustration and disappointment. Thelma Minor Ruth Opoku was a ghost, leaving no trace of her existence. My search took me to dark places. I ventured into the underbelly of Accra, seeking information from people who dealt in illegal activities and had connections to the criminal world. I met with shady characters, exchanged money for dubious leads, and followed every thread, no matter how thin. But each time, I hit a dead end. The guilt and despair drove me to the brink of madness. I would spend hours in my apartment, staring at the walls, replaying the events of that fateful day over and over in my mind. What had I done? How could I have been so foolish? The questions tormented me, and there were no answers, only the deafening silence of my own guilt. One day, while rummaging through old photographs, I found a picture of Nana Ya. She was smiling, her eyes bright with innocence and joy. I clutched the photo to my chest, tears streaming down my face. I had to find her. I had to make things right. I decided to take my search online. I joined various forums and social media groups dedicated to missing persons and human trafficking. I shared my story anonymously, hoping someone, somewhere, might have information about Thelma or my daughter. I created profiles on multiple platforms, posting pictures of Nana Ya and the details of her disappearance. Months turned into years, and my search became an obsession. I would spend hours every day scouring the internet, following leads, and reaching out to strangers. I received countless messages, some offering sympathy, others providing false hope. But I never gave up. I couldn't. Nana Ya was out there somewhere, and I had to find her. As I write this, I am consumed by guilt and regret. If anyone reading this has any information about a woman named Thelma Minor Ruth Opoku, who claimed to come from Canada in 2017 and left with my daughter on September 20th of that year, please, I beg you to come forward. My daughter deserves to be found, and I am willing to do anything to make that happen. 7 years have passed since that fateful day. 7 years of anguish and sleepless nights. I was blinded by my need for a better life and lost the most precious thing I had. Now, all I want is to see my daughter again, to hold her and tell her how sorry I am. I was greedy, and I made the worst decision of my life. But I will never stop searching for her, no matter how long it takes. My days are a blur of activity and anxiety. I wake up early, driven by an unrelenting determination to find my daughter. My search has taken me to places I never thought I would go. I have traveled across Ghana, following every lead, no matter how tenuous. I have visited remote villages, urban slums, and everything in between, asking questions and showing Nana Ya's picture to anyone who would listen. I have also traveled to Canada twice, hoping to find some clue that might lead me to Thelma and my daughter. Each trip was emotionally and financially draining, but I couldn't give up. I met with law enforcement officials, child protection agencies, and community leaders, pleading for their help. But the trail was cold, and Thelma remained elusive. My encounters with the police have been disheartening. While some officers were sympathetic and tried to help, others were indifferent or outright dismissive. They saw me as a desperate woman clinging to false hope. But I knew in my heart that Nana Ya was out there, and I couldn't let her down. One particularly cold winter evening in Toronto, I met a detective who seemed genuinely interested in my case. Detective Sarah Collins was a seasoned investigator with a reputation for solving difficult cases. She listened to my story with empathy and promised to do everything she could to help. "I can't make any guarantees, Adwoa," she said, her eyes filled with determination. "But I will not stop looking for your daughter. We will find her." Her words gave me a glimmer of hope. For the first time in years, I felt like I wasn't alone in my search. Detective Collins launched a thorough investigation, re-examining every detail and reaching out to international law enforcement agencies. She uncovered new leads and followed them diligently, but Thelma remained a step ahead. As the investigation progressed, we discovered that Thelma had used multiple aliases and had a history of fraudulent activities. She was a master of deception, blending into different communities and disappearing without a trace. Her true identity and motives remained a mystery, but one thing was clear: she was dangerous. Despite the setbacks, Detective Collins and I forged a strong bond. She became a source of strength and encouragement, pushing me to keep going even when things seemed hopeless. Her dedication to finding Nana Ya gave me the strength to carry on. In the meantime, my dreams continued to torment me. Each night, I would see Nana Ya, her face etched with sadness and fear. She would reach out to me, pleading for help, and I would wake up in tears, my heart shattered anew. The dreams were a constant reminder of my failure as a mother and fueled my determination to find her. As the years passed, my search expanded to other countries. With the help of Detective Collins, I reached out to law enforcement agencies and missing persons organizations in Europe, Asia, and Africa. We circulated Nana Ya's picture and details of her disappearance, hoping someone, somewhere, would recognize her. I also enlisted the help of private investigators in different countries. These investigators had access to resources and networks that I couldn't reach on my own. They followed leads, conducted surveillance, and provided me with regular updates. While their efforts yielded some promising leads, none of them led to Nana Ya. My search took a toll on my health and finances. I had exhausted my savings and taken on multiple jobs to fund my travels and investigations. The stress and anxiety affected my physical and mental well-being, but I couldn't afford to slow down. Finding Nana Ya was my only priority. Throughout this journey, I found solace in the kindness of strangers. People from all walks of life reached out to me, offering support and encouragement. Some shared their own stories of loss and hope, reminding me that I wasn't alone in my struggle. Their words lifted my spirits and gave me the strength to keep going. One day, I received a message from a woman named Maria, who claimed to have seen a girl resembling Nana Ya in a small town in Italy. Maria described the girl as having the same bright eyes and infectious smile as my daughter. My heart raced with hope and fear as I read her message. With the help of Detective Collins, we arranged for Maria to meet with a local investigator. The investigator verified Maria's account and conducted a thorough search of the area. While they found a girl who matched the description, it turned out she was not Nana Ya. The disappointment was crushing, but it also reignited my determination to find her. As I write this, I am consumed by guilt and regret. If anyone reading this has any information about a woman named Thelma Mineruth Opoku, who claimed to come from Canada in 2017 and left with my daughter on September 20th of that year, please, I beg you to come forward. My daughter deserves to be found, and I'm willing to do anything to make that happen. 7 years have passed since that fateful day. 7 years of anguish and sleepless nights. I was blinded by my need for a better life and lost the most precious thing I had. Now, all I want is to see my daughter again, to hold her and tell her how sorry I am. I was greedy, and I made the worst decision of my life. But I will never stop searching for her, no matter how long it takes. I have come to understand that my search for Nana Ya is not just about finding her. It's also about seeking forgiveness and redemption. I need to make amends for the terrible mistake I made, and the only way to do that is to bring my daughter back home. In my darkest moments, I remind myself of the strength and resilience of the human spirit. I have met other parents who have endured similar ordeals, and their stories of hope and perseverance inspire me. I know that as long as I have breath in my body, I will continue to search for Nana Ya. The journey ahead is uncertain, and the road is long. But I believe that one day I will find my daughter. Until then, I will keep fighting, keep searching, and keep hoping. Nana Ya, if you can hear me, know that I love you and I will never give up on you. We will be together again, and I will make things right. The night is darkest just before the dawn. And I believe that my dawn is coming. Nana Ya, I am coming for you.